come along to our cabin in the wild, 'cause we're in for some good fishing, feeling easy, feeling free. Yes, we're in for some good fishing, Canada.
The Rocky Mountains to the Maritimes, set your reel and cast your lines. Come on, let's go fishing, Canada. River, creek, lake or stream, and everywhere in between. Come on, let's go fishing, Canada.
The Fishing Canada Show is brought to you in part by MyOutdoorTV.com, outdoor television on the internet. Stearns, the life jacket experts. The Rocket Fishing Rod. And RadioWorld.ca.
Together we'll go fishing, Canada.
Today's show may be one of the most unique Fishing Canada episodes I've ever been on. You're going to see a fish finding technique that is guaranteed to tell you where the fish are, or where they're not. With the advent of side finding and HD technology in modern day fish finders, as well as the great underwater cameras available, it's hard to believe there's something even better out there. Well, something a lot less convenient, much more time consuming, you spend extra money every time you do it, and you need a certificate to use it. All that said, today I'm donning the scuba gear and taking the plunge. My guest for this trip is Brian Pollock, Patty Master scuba dive trainer and owner of Dive Source, a scuba retail store in Durham region. Brian and I have been talking about doing a scuba fishing trip for a while now, and finally it's come together. Well, you want to take a look? Let's take a look at the stack.
Yeah, let's go take a look at the wreck. I'll show you where we're diving today. If you're somebody who just wants to know about what's involved to learning to scuba dive, it's not that difficult. After you visit your local dive shop, they'll take you to, you'll sign up for a course and you'll take a classroom session where you'll learn some of the basics, and then they'll take you into a pool where you'll learn how to use the equipment and dive safely. After the completion of your program, they will take you diving on what's called the open water. You do a series of 4 to 5 dives, and you actually go into the water and explore and participate, practice some of the skills you learned in the basic class. At that point, they'll give you a card, you'll be certified for life, and you'll have your license. This is a skill you'll keep forever, and something you will never regret.
Our destination is a shipwreck in the St. Lawrence River called the Conestoga, near the town of Cardinal. Now, I don't know a whole bunch about shipwrecks, but what I do know, they attract fish. What, you like stand under the wreck, now you want to stand under my boat?
You're going to have structure, and fish relate to structure. You know, as a diver, I see it all the time. I'm down and we'll be doing a dive or something like that, and literally on this Connie, for example, we'll be drifting along and we'll come off the stern or something, and there's just a couple more beams there. But the fish are there opposed to out in the open.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just they like something to their back or what the case is.
Right.
The Conestoga is, I think it's 250, 260 feet long. It's a big, big ship in the day.
So it goes how much past that boiler right there?
It's probably another
10,
20 feet past the boiler, and then the stern's rounded, and there's a huge 4-bladed prop on the back, and then the big rudder that was there is lying down beside it.
Okay.
And I know we always see bass and that type of thing around there, so it's always kind of interesting to see.
And it goes up to way up,
it
probably
runs
past this tree even?
Oh, it runs past this tree, actually up to, if you see the vehicles up there, it's right there. This is a popular spot for divers.
Yeah, that's a bunch of Quebec people there, so obviously.
And this is a weekday.
Yeah.
On the weekend,
I can imagine it'd be nuts, eh?
It's a little bit nuttier on the weekend.
This road would be,
But everybody's friendly, and it's nice. It's almost like, hey, where are you from? And it gets to be very social.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about divers.
People busting by each other going to...
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some hardcore guys who are really into it too. But they do good work. I like SOS. I like POW, which is Preserve Our Wrecks in Kingston. SOS is Save Our Shipwrecks. They're really nice. They're volunteer people, and I can't say enough about, if it wasn't for volunteers in the province of Ontario, we wouldn't have this kind of thing happening. These guys are avid divers who do all the work and get it all done.
Cool.
But the Connie is just the easiest, one of the easiest little shore dives you could ever ask to do in the province of Ontario.
Nice. Yeah, it's close.
With some of the most interesting stuff to see. And if you can see in the water today, it's like crystal clear.
Oh man, it's beautiful.
You know, and people wonder about diving in Ontario and they think cold northern lakes or whatever. This water today is 73 degrees.
Right.
And you can see the clarity just keeps going on and on. So it's as close. I've dove in Florida and it's been colder.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we should gear up, buddy. I'm looking forward to getting in there.
Let's get you back up and
I want to see some smallies.
get you tuned up.
Yeah, tune up first.
Tune up's good.
Absolutely. Since I'm already a certified diver, all that would be needed was a bit of a refresher. It's been quite a few years since my last dive.
There's three main components for whatever you want to call it with the scuba system. The first thing we have a tank. 20 years ago I started scuba diving and I learned how to dive in Ontario, and we dove in the beautiful areas of Tobermory and saw the shipwrecks there, and it just got me hooked. I've been in it 20 years and I still enjoy going underwater. There's not a time when I'm underwater where I'm not comfortable and just feeling at peace with the world.
After Brian gave me the once-over on the scuba equipment, we headed for the water. He told me to take a quick dip with just a mask and snorkel to get a feel for things, and I swear, right there in front of me was a school of smallies. Probably waiting for me, eh? They like boat ride. Soon, Brian and I were geared up and on our way for the second portion of my refresher course. It may seem like scuba diving is very complex, but in all actuality, it's just common sense. Yeah, being underwater can be intimidating, but once you're down there, it's a whole other world.
Dive flags are as important for divers as they are for the people above the water in their boats. If you see a dive flag, stay back at least 100 feet with your boat or watercraft. It's very important to protect the divers who are under the water. Divers will typically stay with their flag. However, if you see bubbles or something away from the flag, that's a good indication that there's a diver there, so please stay clear of them as well. So when you're ready to get into scuba diving, one of the first things a lot of people consider is, I need a mask and snorkel. And the best thing you need to do is go to a dive shop, because your local dive shop has the selection, and they'll also be able to fit you properly and have a wide variety of shapes and sizes. Scuba is about seeing stuff underwater. Snorkeling is about seeing stuff underwater. So you want a mask that fits you. With a quality mask, you're going to see a few different things. You're going to see tempered glass lenses. You're going to see a soft silicone skirt. We have a frame that's made out of Lexan or polycarbonate. We have tilting hinges. We have quick adjust buckles and straps. And we have a wide field of vision so we can see down very easily. This is what makes a very good mask today. Children today are they love snorkeling. They get in the water and they're all there. And the fact that they can go and see stuff and almost swim around and touch it is very empowering to them. So again, if you deal with a local dive shop, they have kids masks and things like that are very comfortable and don't leak. Kids only understand if a mask is leaky, it's yucky, they don't like it. After that, if you get into diving more and you want to take the lessons, programs are available. They start literally every month at most shops around the world. They will have a program that could be running over a weekend, it could run over a number of weeks. You'll start with the basics. It's much like learning to drive a car. You'll have what are the rules of the road, what are the controls you have to use. You'll have little bits and pieces that you have to understand how to assemble, but it's not that difficult. Anybody in decent health and likes the outdoors will love scuba diving. It's basically another place to go and explore. As you proceed into the sport, you might want to get involved in it and have your own equipment, or have the perception it's going to be very expensive. It isn't necessarily expensive. Scuba shops have a large selection of rental gear, and you can rent head-to-toe kit to go diving for around $100 a weekend, which is very reasonable. As you get into it and you want to own your own equipment, there's a large price range. It can come from real basic stuff to something a little more exotic, and how you budget that is up to you. People will ask me, what is diving comparable to for cost? And I said, it's not very much far off golf or skiing and those type of activities. And in fact, there's no competitive nature maybe, so you don't have to buy the $500 driver to go out and beat your buddies. You just have to have something that works well and does the job. And you'll be out there enjoying yourself along with all your friends and discovering the underwater world.
Finally, it was time to see if we could find some fish. Now, Brian's had mixed dives in the Conestoga, some with lots of fish and some with not so many. Obviously, I was hoping this ship would be stacked with smallies. The visibility was excellent. The current wasn't too strong, the ship was huge, and the fish, whoa. Although I like scuba diving, I've never been absolutely nuts about it, well, until this dive. My past underwater excursions have all been in salt water. Gorgeous scenery, colorful fish, but not really my world. Here in the St. Lawrence, though, with a creature that I've pursued all my life, now I'm in my world. All my worries about using my BC properly, emptying my mask of water, keeping an eye on a dive computer were put at ease. Here I am, swimming amongst hundreds of smallmouth bass like I was in a trance.
Well, it's certainly not up to Pete's level as a professional fisherman. I do love to go fishing. And the one thing scuba diving has allowed me to see is what structure really looks like as compared to a fish finder or sonar. When I'm under the water and see the fish relating to the different structures, it gives me a whole new appreciation for them. I see them foraging in their natural habitat, going after minnows, going after crayfish, and it puts me in their mindset. That's the advantage of being a scuba diver and actually being a fisherman at the same time. 20 years ago, I started scuba diving, and I learned how to dive in Ontario, and we dove in the beautiful areas of Tobermory and saw the shipwrecks there, and it just got me hooked. From there, I went into my diving in the ocean and seeing some of the wonderful underwater creatures and discovering the diversity of our world that is below the water as well as above. Today is, I've been in it 20 years and I still enjoy going underwater. There's not a time when I'm underwater where I'm not comfortable and just feeling at peace with the world. We have a terrific underwater heritage in Ontario. We have a tremendous selection of shipwrecks and not to mention a large variety of fish that maybe aren't quite as colorful as some of their Caribbean counterparts, but certainly are entertaining.
When shooting underwater footage, oftentimes the cameraman doesn't see or shoot what the divers see. Unfortunately, he missed two of the coolest things I've ever seen. First was a smallmouth with a wally diver crankbait hanging from its face. Now that fish, every time we got close to it, hid behind a wall or a beam. The second thing, even cooler, was a cormorant swimming underwater chasing 5 smallies. It actually corralled one of the smallies away from the school. Now, fortunately, it didn't get it. Finally, it was time to go fishing, and I couldn't wait. The good thing was, I knew there were lots of fish in the area. The bad thing was, I didn't see any hogs. When we first arrived at the shipwreck, I decided to go upstream and work the deep side of the ship. That way, I could get a feel for the current, and I already knew there was fish there because of our dive. There it goes. Something's happening there.
There, that's your shadow of the bow coming
Yeah.
off. That's it there.
That proves you, though, electronics, you can find some stuff, but you might not even know what that was with your electronics. You know what I mean? If you didn't know the stack wasn't sticking out, for one thing, you'd never really know.
Most people wouldn't look at that and see a ship.
Yeah.
You know, not for that particular.
Yeah. The most efficient way to fish this wreck, as with any other structure in a current situation, is with a bow-mounted trolling motor. You can either drop back, hold at one spot, or actually creep forward. One of these methods will give you the ultimate presentation. Megan?
Oh, jeez, beat himself to death against the
Whoa,
boat.
bud, look at you. Oh, I lost mine. You felt good, too. Look at
Oh,
you.
yeah, that's a good one.
I had one, too. Another alternative you could choose is to anchor. By positioning your boat at the upcurrent end of the structure, you then have the opportunity to let out more rope and drop back to different positions.
That's a fat fish.
Remember though, shipwrecks, as well as a whole array of other artificial reefs, are both valuable to the ecosystem and fragile. Don't drop your anchor directly under the structure.
We were diving in Georgian Bay on a wreck up on Christian Island.
Right.
And this guy came up, and the worst part is it was a dive boat. Okay, this guy was supposedly a dive boat. And I had divers in the water with a flag. And one of my guys saw an anchor, a big freaking Danforth, come out over the wreck, past him, and claw into the wreck. Can you imagine getting hooked with a Danforth, like a nice big.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine that on your tank or something like that.
I'm thinking my thigh.
Yeah. Boy, they dig, man. They pull, they dig, and they yank these fish. Look at that. It's whoosh down, whoosh down. Actually, this is the better one. I think I got a bigger one, Brion. Looks nicer in the water right now, anyways. Oh, he's much bigger.
Oh, let's net that one.
That's a better fish. Right? Finally, we got a bigger
that's
one.
a healthy one.
That's a fatty.
Oh, that's beauty.
Yeah, let's see.
That's
There's
a
even
nice
good
one.
ones on the wreck. We saw a bunch of them down there.
Yeah,
Just had a hard time catching them.
that's
We saw quite a few of them. Look, I lost my sinker again. These fish are thieves. That fish was way behind the boat, though. I was fishing that buoy, basically.
Look at the thickness here.
Yeah.
Look how deep he is.
Solid fish that way, and look at that.
Oh,
Big old fatty. I mean, that fish is 3.5 pounds at least.
Yep.
Maybe bigger, I don't know. St. Lawrence seaweed, yeah, lots of those. I know, because I saw them down there. With the ultimate fish finder. See you, dude. Take up, take up, take up. Oh, gone. Rocket. Look at how far I've drifted off the wreck, though.
oh yeah, she's zipping.
Brian and I are using drop shot rigs today, mainly because it gets our baits up off the hazardous bottom. If we were dragging tube jigs, the odds of line breakage and snagging go up significantly. Our lures of choice are Yamamoto shad-shaped worms and Berkeley Gulf gobies. Of course, other baits will work, but these were dynamite for us. Don't jump, don't jump. I got a net right beside me, and I'm not using it. Fatty. Oh, a real fatty. Look at the gut.
That's
on
a
that
gut.
fish, man. That is a fatty. Well, they're here, Bri. Oh, we already knew that.
We knew that. We're not telling tales. You know, when somebody comes and says, you know, I know a good spot with a lot of fish in it. If he's a diver,
You guys
you might want to believe
are
him.
the ultimate fish finders. One thing I really recommend is the use of new, strong line when fishing the Conestoga. You got to remember, this is the St. Lawrence River and it's full of zebra mussels, which can play havoc on fishing line. Fluorocarbon is your best choice because it's tough and the water's so clear. Whoa, buddy, that's a big fish, isn't it? Yeah, or you got a diver.
Don't
That's a
say
big
that.
fish. He's right under the boat. I'm gonna move us out. It's a fish, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's moving quick.
Okay, I'm gonna get us out of the way here. Where's our net? Did we bring the net today, by any chance?
Shoot in the side.
Come
Yeah,
when
that's a
you see
good
it.
fish, Pete. Oh,
Hey?
it's a pike
Is it?
or a muskie.
I was gonna say, I didn't think it would be a bass like that. Oh boy, keep him away from the motor. Oh, that's a little gator, I think, or a muskie, maybe, we'll see. Pike.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think he's hooked pretty good. He's right in the corner, so he's not gonna bust our line. If you can bring him towards the net, we'll get him in there. There you go, buddy. You deal with that fish.
Why,
I'm not
why
gonna
do I
get
get to
slimed
deal
up.
with it? You're the pro.
I'm a pro, so I don't want to get slimed. I know better.
Wow.
Do you have you dealt with pike before? You,
Oh,
you,
yeah.
yeah. You grab behind the head if you
I
want, or
don't think
whatever.
I need to. I think I get
Need
this hook out
pliers?
right in the net. I can do the easy release.
Nice. Well, look at the scrap he gave you, eh? You
Oh.
knew right off the bat, right off that hook
His thumb
set.
was heavy. Thumb was heavy.
Yeah,
You like that big minnow?
yeah, exactly.
Took that like a charm.
You're not even gonna think about. I'd just like to reiterate here that this is an amazing place to take kids fishing and basically catch hard-fighting fish to your heart's content. By having the kids lower drop shot rigs directly below the boat, along with the cooperation of the fish, Dad and or Mom could become heroes. Nice fish.
Holy slime.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
slime
Get
on
it out of
this
my
fish.
boat.
Sorry. That's your knife.
Pretty bad, eh? Get that slimy thing out of my boat.
Alrighty.
That's the warmer water. Water makes that slime up like that a little bit. Like they're always slimy.
Oh, there he goes.
He's good. The Conestoga isn't the only fishing structure available in this part of the St. Lawrence. We took a cruise to cool off and tried taking a shot at something a little different to fish.
Whoa.
All right.
No net for that one?
I guess. It's light line. These are your little light fluorocarbon leaders. He's not really net worthy, but
No. Oh, it's a decent fish.
it's fat. These fish are so fat. These St. Lawrence fish. They gotta be just eating up gobies like crazy, you know?
Anything. Lots of stuff around to eat.
Yeah. I was getting bites and bites and bites and I couldn't hook in. Look at the way I hooked them. Oh, I'm good, eh? I don't know how either,
Okay,
honestly.
I'm going back to drop shot now.
Oh yeah, this is too deep to do anything but. Fat, man, look at them. They're short and they're fat. Look at the gut on that fish. That thing is heavy for the length of them.
Fishin' Canada Hotspots, the ultimate fishing guide presents Getting There.
Today's hotspot is the Conestoga wreck in the St. Lawrence River. The waypoint on your screen will take you there. Fortunately, for those of you without a GPS, you're in luck. The stack is easy to see as it protrudes well out of the water. Drop shotting is the ultimate method of catching these smallies, and you might even get lucky with a bonus pike, walleye, or muskie. To get to the Conestoga on the St. Lawrence River, I traveled east on Highway 401 to exit 730, County Road 22. From there I went south into the town of Cardinal. Go straight through the Highway 2 intersection to Dundas Street, and then turn right onto Legion Way. Follow Legion Way to the T in the road, and then turn left to the boat launch.
Visit fishingcanada.com for more details. Fishin' Canada was brought to you in part by Coleman, the outdoor company. Muskol, serious bug protection. Prince Craft Boats, the more you know, the better we look. And Mercury, #1 on the water. Closed captioning provided by Ontario Tourism. Go fish in Ontario.com. For more Fishin' Canada, visit fishingcanada.com.